Pranam. Today we are on the 24th lecture of Philosophy Optional Paper 1, and today we are going to discuss the basic features of the yoga philosophy which was propounded by Patanjali. In the previous lecture we had talked about Sankhya, right? And we had discussed Sankhya in great detail. Between Sankhya and yoga there are a lot of similarities as to the philosophical foundation. In fact, ऐसा बोला जाता है that if Sankhya philosophy is the theory, yoga is philosophy is the practical. In Sankhya philosophy, we had also introduced a term called Kaivalya, dissolution of everything into the Supreme One. Now the yoga philosophy shows a path as to how that can be achieved. So this is what we'll be talking about today. Please write down an introductory note for the yoga philosophy. Write down. The objective of the yoga philosophy, is the realization of the ultimate truth concerning human being and the world. Yoga is understood as a spiritual union of the individual soul with the Supreme Soul. Spiritual union of the individual soul with the Supreme Soul. The yoga school also relies on three pramanas. That is Pratyaksha, perception. Also relies on three pramanas, that is number one, Pratyaksha, perception. Two, Anumana, that is inference. And Sabda, that is testimony of reliable sources. Sankhya philosophy, unlike Sankhya philosophy, the yoga philosophy incorporates the concept of a personal God, bracket में लिखिए ईश्वरा. The concept of a personal God, bracket में लिखिए ईश्वरा. The Sankhya school suggests that jnana or knowledge is a sufficient means to moksha. The Sankhya school suggests that jnana or knowledge is a sufficient means to moksha. But the yoga school suggests that systematic techniques, practice and personal experimentation. That systematic techniques, practice and personal experimentation combined with Sankhya's approach to knowledge, is the path of moksha. अद्वैत वेदांता, ये क्या है हम बाद में देखेंगे. अद्वैत वेदांता adopt and build upon the many teachings of yoga. Patanjali's definition of yoga is yoga chitti vritti निरोधा. इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म है, इस पे डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस आते हैं मेंस में. योग चित्त वृत्ति निरोधा, योग चित्त वृत्ति निरोधा, which means yoga is the removing of the fluctuations of the mind. Yoga is the removing of the fluctuations of the mind. Yoga is the stilling of the mind. Yoga is the stilling of the mind until it rests in a state of total and utter tranquility. Total and utter tranquility, so that one experiences life as it is. So that one experiences life as it is. That's the idea. Okay? Remember, sorry, excuse me. Even when you talk about the philosophy of Taoism, and when you talk about this philosophy's method to know yourself, Taoism recommends a break from day to day existential intelligence. Taoism recommends a break from day-to-day existential intelligence. Okay? When we are living, take your case typically. Remember, our characters are completely fictitious. You were born, started going to school, 8th, 9th, maybe till then you enjoyed. Then you started suffering your academic pressures, right? You got into your boards, you got into your board exam, you got into 12th, you did all your post-12th entrances, you got into maybe some sort of a graduation. You would have got into graduation, of course. Even today when you are living, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you have your tea, then you exit. then you go to your classes, maybe you watch the videos, then you prepare. When you walk on the street, there's so much of information in the form of various hoardings and displays, etc., etc. Point is, are you spending time with yourself in this entire bargain? The answer is no. So existential intelligence is what you need for your day-to-day routine monotonous activities. And as long as you are focusing on these activities, right, you will never get to the level where you actually start knowing what you are. Your mind will never be still. Okay? And according to Taoism, if you really want to understand yourself, what you are, what is your potential, and you need to make efforts to reach that potential, you need this. Now, if you look at the situation from yoga perspective, because so much data is being, when we are living, I mean ancient time, medieval times, modern times, there is a constant data bombardment from outside in the form of sensations, which have their own impact on the mind. Point is, when you are living through this, your view of things is completely colored by the kind of lenses that you are wearing. When I say lenses, I mean experiences. And due to that, you will never understand reality in its true nature. You will never know reality in its true nature. You will always understand reality from your perspective. Why? Because you are watching it through colored lenses, your own prejudices, which have been created by your own experiences. So yoga talks about what you need to do in order to know reality as it is. Not know reality through colored lenses, to know reality as it is. That can be achieved only through what is called stillness of the mind. This is the only way to understand reality. Stillness of the mind. And yoga gives you a method with which you can achieve stillness of the mind. That's the point. Clear? Okay. Write down organization of the Yoga Sutras. Organization of the Yoga Sutras. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra consists of 4 parts. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra consists of 4 parts. First, Samadhipada. Second, Sadhanapada. Sadhanapada. Then Vibhuti-pada. Vibhuti-pada. And the fourth, Kaivalya-pada. Vibhuti-pada and Kaivalya-pada. Write down. This is इंट्रोडक्शन. इसके नीचे लिखिए, इसी के नीचे लिखते जाइए ताकि एक ही पेज में कंप्लीट हो जाए. इंट्रोडक्शन टू नेचर एंड मेथड्स ऑफ योगा. Introduction to various methods of yoga. इसके नीचे लिखिए causes of suffering, causes of suffering and how to eradicate them. मतलब this is basically talking about karma and human bondage. Then the third, Vibhuti Pada. how to achieve supranormal powers, how to achieve supranormal powers, and how does yoga help in that? How to achieve supranormal powers and how does yoga help in that? And then write down Kaivalya Pada, nature of liberation, nature of liberation and spiritual union with the Supreme Soul. Nature of liberation and spiritual union with the Supreme Soul. राइट अब अगला पॉइंट लिखिए, द साइकोलॉजी बिहाइंड योगा, द साइकोलॉजी बिहाइंड योगा. A basic understanding is a basic understanding of the psychology behind yoga is essential to implement it in real life, is essential to implement it in real life. ओके अब इसमें साइकोलॉजी समझने के लिए द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट विच योगा फोकसेस ऑन इज द चित्ता. What is the chitta? It's made up of three parts, the three internal organs. What were the three internal organs? Buddhi or intellect, ahamkara or ego, and manas or mind. These are the three elements of the chitta. Right? How is chitta created? When the sattva qualities dominate the rajasi and tamas qualities. ठीक है? When chitta chances upon an object, right? It assumes the form of the object. This is called vritti. Right? So, how has this been created? Let us make a complete flow chart. Modification of prakriti leads to creation of chitta. Chitta plus object leads to vritti or modification. ओके आगे लिखिए. It is due to these modifications, ये बना लिया आपने, right? It is due to these modifications the self knows about the worldly objects. It is due to these modifications that the self knows about worldly objects. Due to the reflection of the Purusa in the modifications of the Chitta, I hope you are getting that. Purusa here would mean any external object. Due to reflection of Purusa in the modifications of Chitta, there is an appearance of change found in it. Simple चीज है. एक नदी है, पानी बह रहा है. You have the moon, right? And the nadi, due to the rays of the moon, is illuminated. You actually see the reflection of the moon in the water. Has the water changed? Has the water changed? No. So this is the Chitta. This change that you are seeing, illumination of the sea, that is vritti. And this is a material object. Right? So obviously the Chitta has not changed as such. Its appearance has undergone a modification. You can say that. The Chitta has not changed. Its appearance has undergone a modification. Write this down. Purusa appears as modifications. Purusa appears as modifications, and Chitta appears as conscious, and Chitta appears as conscious due to Purusa's reflection on it. When knowledge of an object is attained, when knowledge about the object is attained, the self ceases to exist from the modifications of Chitta. राइट जैसा मैंने आपको बोला था कि पानी ये अलग चीज है और चंद्रमा के प्रकाश से उज्ज्वलित पानी अलग चीज है. आई रिपीट, पानी अलग चीज है और चंद्रमा के प्रकाश से उज्ज्वलित पानी अलग चीज है. ये आपको अपने आप के बारे में जिस दिन समझेगा, आप अपने आप के अंदर आपका जो आत्मन है, आपका जो चित्त है, उसको अलग, ठीक है, और ऑब्जेक्ट के मॉडिफिकेशंस वाला चित्त अलग. ये दो अलग है. आप जब समझेंगे तब सत्य की प्राप्ति होगी. आई एम सॉरी, ये थोड़ा सा शायद सत्संग जैसा लग रहा है, बट योगा फिलॉसफी इसी को बोलते हैं. अगर आप ये दोनों चीज को अलग नहीं देख सकते तो आप बंधे हुए हो. You are in bondage. If you are not able to see these two things separately, you are in bondage. Okay? And yoga tells us how to escape that bondage. That's the idea. Okay, लिखिए. Attachment is the cause of bondage. Attachment is bondage. ऐसा लिख लीजिए. To get rid from this bondage, human beings need to control the modifications of the chitta. Human beings need to control the modifications of chitta. Clear? Okay? This can be done only by practicing yoga in a continuous manner. This can be done only by practicing yoga in a continuous manner. In this regards, in this aspect, yoga is defined as, cessation of the modification of the chitta. Cessation of the modification of chitta. Yoga chitti vritti nirodha. Cessation of the modification of the chitta. I hope the concept of yoga chitti vritti nirodha is clear. Okay. Now let's go to the stages of chitta. Subheading दीजिए. The stages of chitta. The first is kshipta. Which is रेस्टलेसनेस. एक एक लाइन लिखते जाइए इनके बारे में. चित्ता इज अटैच्ड with worldly objects. Attached with worldly objects, power, money, sensual desires, and so on. Then you have mudha. Torpid. इसके आगे लिखिए domination of tamas over sattva and rajas. Domination of tamas over sattva and rajas. The third is vikshipta, distracted. इसमें लिखिए सत्व dominates tamas and rajasi. Yoga begins and there is temporary ceasing of the modifications of the chitta. There is temporary ceasing of the modifications of the chitta. That is vikshipt, distracted. then you have ekagra, concentrated. Write down. The chitta is fixed to some object. You are constantly striving for only one object. यहाँ पे तो there were many objects. Then you were distracted because slowly you were realizing that you need to focus on only one object. And in ekagra, you keep focusing on only one object. And finally, you have niruddha. That is restricted. Niruddha, which is restricted. This is the fifth. आगे लिखिए, fifth and final stage. Modifications cease. Modifications of what? Chitta, obviously. Modifications cease. And the impressions remain in the chitta. And the impressions remain in the chitta. तो ये आइडियली 5 है. हम सब शुरू यहां होते हैं. सब कितना भी महान कर्मयोगी सन्यासी, भारत के प्रधानमंत्री, सब नो एक्सेप्शंस, सब शुरू यही होते हैं. ठीक है. यहां तक भी लोग बड़ी मुश्किल से, बहुत कम परसेंटेज पहुंच पाती है. यूजुअली लोगों की जिंदगी इसमें निपट जाती है. यूजुअली लोगों की जिंदगी इसमें निपट जाती है. बहुत कम जो यहां तक पहुंच पाते हैं. और यहां तक अगर पहुंचना है तो तरीका क्या है? द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ योगा. उसी के थ्रू आप ये ट्रांजिशंस कर पाएंगे. एंड दिस इज द साइकोलॉजी बिहाइंड योगा. दिस इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव. दिस इज द फिलॉसफी बिहाइंड योगा. अब ये करना कैसे है, उसके लिए योगिक मेथड्स हैं. ठीक है. आगे लिखिए द नेक्स्ट एक्सप्लेनेशन. रिमेंबर दीज वर द स्टेजेस of chitta, and next you have forms of chitta. लिखिए 3 है बेसिकली. प्रख्या, प्रवृत्ति, प्रख्या, प्रवृत्ति और स्थिति. प्रख्या, प्रवृत्ति एंड स्थिति. ये 3 क्या है? इसके नीचे ही ऐसा लिख लीजिए. सत्व गुणा इज डोमिनेंट. Sattva guna is dominant. The chitta aspires for different powers of yoga like anima, siddhi, etc. Tamas तीसरा पॉइंट, tamas remains subordinate to sattva. Tamas remains subordinate to sattva. सेकेंड प्रवृत्ति, इसमें लिखिए डोमिनेटेड बाय राजस एंड तमस बिकम्स वीक. एंड तमस बिकम्स वीक. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, प्रवृत्ति में एनलाइटेंड फॉर्म. एग्जाम्पल, ध्याना. आप जब ध्यान लगाते हो तो तमस बहुत वीक हो चुका है. तमस बहुत वीक हो चुका है और डोमिनेंस राजस का है. ठीक है, तो आप जब मेडिटेशन करते हो, दैट इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ प्रवृत्ति. एंड देन स्थिति, dominated by sattva and rajas is subordinate. Dominated by sattva and rajas is subordinate. इसमें नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखिए, the chitta holds its form. The chitta holds its form and starts differentiating from others. The chitta holds its form and starts differentiating from others. Okay, so next point, we have been talking about the chitta being modified, etc. So the next thing we are going to look at, discuss, are the various modifications of the chitta. What are the various types of modification, various types of vrittis that the chitta undergoes? तो एक चार्ट बना लीजिए, modifications of the chitta. First, pramana, which means the right cognition. The right cognition. Second is viparyaya. Viparyaya, which means wrong cognition. Right? Again, we are not filhal talking about good or bad. We are just talking about this matter of factly, that these are the modifications which the chitta undergoes. Then you have vikalpa, which means imagination. Nidra, which is sleep, and smriti, which is memory. So these are the 5 modifications of the chitta. What do they signify? Pramana के नीचे लिखिए, the chitta through the sense organs. What is right cognition? लिखिए, the chitta through the sense organs comes into contact with the external objects of the world. Comes into contact with the external objects of the world and assumes its form. मतलब the chitta takes the form of that, assumes its form. The yoga school, like the Sankhya, the yoga school, like the Sankhya, adheres to 3 pramanas. ब्रैकेट में लिखिए, adheres to 3 pramanas: perception, inference and sabda. इसी का अगला पॉइंट, the chitta recognizes the nature of the objects. The chitta recognizes the nature of the objects. That means when the chitta comes into contact with external objects, the chitta is undergoing a vritti. And what is the vritti that the chitta is undergoing? It recognizes the nature of the objects and the chitta assumes the form of that object. Okay, so that is pramana or right cognition. Write down the second. The expression viparyaya means doubt. Means doubt. Means doubt. Not possessing definite knowledge of an object. Not possessing definite knowledge of an object is doubt. Again, that famous example, 5 blind men and an elephant, right? And the blind person is just groping, sensing the tail, and it thinks that it's a rope. Okay, that is a classic example of viparyaya. You are feeling something, your senses are telling you something, but you are not able to recognize the nature of the object that you are sensing. Okay, that is viparyaya. Then write down vikalpa. The object is known. The object is known but does not exist. The object is known but does not exist. It's just a verbal cognition. It's just a verbal cognition. Okay, we can imagine, for example, might have existed. We can imagine today if somebody says, the humped bull. Or if somebody says, Ekashringa, the unicorn, Indus Valley civilization याद आ रहा होगा आपको. तो we can imagine that. We can imagine that. But does this object actually exist? No. Clear? So this is vikalpa. You can imagine a particular object, right? But that object actually does not exist. That is vikalpa. Nidra, write down. A mental cognition, a mental modification, a vritti, in which no cognition exists. In which no cognition exists. It is knowledge of absence of objects. It is knowledge of absence of objects. It is knowledge of absence of objects. So when we are sleeping, okay, we are in a state of complete ignorance about objects. In fact, we are aware that objects are not there in our sleep. So it's a state where there is absolutely no cognition. However, लिखिए, there is a mild presence of knowledge even during nidra. There is a mild presence of knowledge even during nidra. This is evidenced by the fact that after waking up, a person is aware about how his sleep was. मस्त नींद आई यार, कैसे पता? स्टेटमेंट कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी नहीं लग रहा आपको? मुझे बहुत अच्छी नींद आई। फिलॉसफी का ये प्रॉब्लम है, जो स्टेटमेंट्स आपको एकदम रूटीन, सिंपल, मोनोटोनस लगते हैं, वही कहीं कहीं चले जाते हैं। मेरे को बहुत मस्त नींद आई। अच्छा, ये भी तो एक टाइप का नॉलेज है। और ये नॉलेज आपको कब मिला होगा कि आपको मस्त नींद आई? जब आप सो रहे थे। तो माइल्ड नॉलेज तो वहां पे भी है। दूसरी चीज आप ये भी ऑब्जर्व करोगे कि आपकी नींद अगर अनइंटरप्टेड रही तो आप बोलते हो मस्त नींद आई। दैट मीन्स ग्रेटर द एब्सेंस ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट्स, द बेटर इज योर निद्रा। दैट्स द पॉइंट। Greater the absence of objects, the better is your nidra. That is the entire issue. Are we clear? So even in nidra, there is a mild element of knowledge which is always there. That is the whole point. Clear? Okay. Moving on. Smriti or memory is the recollection of past experiences. Recollection of past experiences. This is because we left impressions on the objects we cognized. उल्टा लिख रहे हो आप। Objects leave impressions on. Na. That is the point of yoga. You have left an impression on the objects when you had experienced them, and that recollection is smriti. लिखिए, this is possible due to impressions that we left on the objects while they were being cognized. Therefore, some modifications will be found in the chitta. Some modifications will be found in the chitta. Then the next point is klesha. Write down. Klesha or suffering is a state of disturbance in the chitta. Disturbances in the chitta. The main reasons for klesha would be A, सिंपल सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, जहां जहां समझाने की जरूरत है मैं समझा रहा हूं, नहीं तो आप नोट्स लिखिएगा, परफेक्ट आंसर्स आ जाएंगे आपके। ए, Reasons for klesha: A, attachment with objects of the world. Attachment with objects of the world. B, wrong cognition of the objects. B, wrong cognition of the objects. C, inactivity. C, inactivity. D, doubt. Carelessness, etc. According to the yoga philosophy, there are 5 types of kleshas. According to yoga philosophy, there are 5 types of kleshas. सबसे पहला अविद्या और ignorance. अस्मिता, that is egoism. Rag, attachment. Dvesh, aversion. And abhinivesa, clinging to worldly objects. Clinging to worldly objects. So these are the 5 types of klesha. लिखिए, अविद्या arises, इसमें एक छोटा नोट लिख लीजिए, सबके बारे में एक सेंटेंस या 1-2 सेंटेंसेस. अविद्या arises when we cognize the self. Avidya arises when we cognize the self as non-eternal and material. Avidya arises when we cognize the self as non-eternal and material, whereas the self is eternal, and is pure consciousness. Whereas the self is eternal and is pure consciousness. तो अविद्या या इग्नोरेंस. ठीक है. अस्मिता क्या है लिखिए. अस्मिता इज bringing Purusha and Prakriti, treating Purusha and Prakriti as one and equating them, whereas they are 2 distinct entities. Raga is craving to get worldly pleasures, like power, money, etc. Dvesha is anger arising out of dislike towards things. Dvesha is anger arising out of dislike towards things. This leads to suffering. अगर आपने बी आर चोपड़ा की महाभारत देखी होगी तो याद रखना भगवद गीता जो है दैट इज हेविली इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय सांख्य एंड योगा फिलॉसफी. इनफैक्ट मैं जब ये बता रहा था आपको द्वेषा तो मेरे को बी आर चोपड़ा के महाभारत का एक डायलॉग याद आ रहा था जो इसको पूरा डिस्क्राइब करता है. सामान्य पुरुष विषय का ध्यान करता है. सामान्य पुरुष विषय का ध्यान करता है. विषय यानी ऑब्जेक्ट. और विषय का ध्यान उससे आसक्त बना देता है. इसी आसक्ति से काम का जन्म होता है, डिजायर. जब काम की पूर्ति नहीं होती तो क्रोध उत्पन्न होता है. जब क्रोध उत्पन्न होता है तो इट हार्म्स द इंटेलेक्ट. जब क्रोध उत्पन्न होता है तो विवेक नष्ट होता है. विवेक का सर्वनाश हो जाता है. और जब विवेक का सर्वनाश हो जाता है व्यक्ति का सर्वनाश हो जाता है. क्लियर? जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट. मेरे को वो श्लोक भी याद आएगा तो मैं बताता हूं आपको. एक्चुअली ओल्ड एज के कारण थोड़ी मेमोरी की प्रॉब्लम जा रही है. श्लोक में बताऊंगा, ये क्लास में नहीं तो अगली क्लास में बताऊंगा. तो दीज आर द वेरियस वृत्तिस ऑफ द चित्ता. ठीक है? एंड दीज आर द वेरियस, पॉज लेते रहूंगा मैं. बुद्धिनाशो प्रणश्यति, थोड़ा सा याद आ गया. एंड दीज आर द वेरियस सफरिंग्स दैट अराइज आउट ऑफ. कॉजेस भी यही है. ठीक है? रिमेंबर, इसमें सबसे ज्यादा इसको माना जाता है बिकॉज दिस इज अटैचमेंट. ध्यायो विषयम पुंसः, ध्यायतो विषयम पुंसः संगस्तेषु पजायते. ध्यायतो विषयम पुंसः संगस्तेतु पजायते. संगत संजायते कामः, कामत क्रोधो भिजायते. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः, सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः. स्मृति भ्रंशत बुद्धिनाशो, बुद्धिनाशत प्रणश्यति. ध्यायतो विषयम पुंसः संगस्तेषु पजायते. संगत संजायते कामः, कामत क्रोधो भिजायते. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः, सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः. स्मृति भ्रंशत बुद्धिनाशो, बुद्धिनाशत प्रणश्यति. राइट डाउन. तो ये है. अब इस सिचुएशन में you need to reach a state where you are separating the vritti from the chitta, because only by making a differentiation between the two you will be able to understand reality as it is. You will be able to understand reality without the colored lenses. You will be able to end all your kleshas and suffering, which is the objective of yoga. तो अब सबसे बड़ा सवाल है how to do it. How to do it. उसका जवाब है अष्टांग योगा. The 8 limbs of yoga. लिखिए. Because we have sense organs and a mind, because we have sense organs and the mind. Sensual attachment and passion towards worldly objects is natural. Sense attachment and passion towards worldly objects is natural. This leads us into a river of bondage and worldly sufferings. This leads us into a river of bondage and worldly sufferings. To get rid of suffering, that is klesha, of course. To get rid of suffering, that is klesha, कोई भी कारण हो, we have to conquer our sense organs, comma, our mind. We have to conquer our sense organs, comma, our mind, comma, and our bodily actions. And our bodily actions. The yoga philosophy prescribes an eightfold path for this. The yoga philosophy prescribes an eightfold path for this. क्या है, आप एक एक लिख लीजिए. पहले आप ये डायग्राम बना लीजिए. यमा, नियमा, आसना, प्राणायाम, that is pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. तो ये तरीका है. साइकोलॉजी हमने पढ़ लिए हैं, ऑब्जेक्टिव हमने पढ़ लिया है, ठीक है. अब हम तरीके की बात करेंगे. दिस इज द मेथड दैट यू नीड टू फॉलो टू अचीव कैवल्य. सिंपल, दिस इज द आइडिया. अब इसमें एक एक चीज को हम थोड़ा सा एग्जामिन करते हैं. डोंट वरी, आपका लेक्चर जल्दी ही खत्म हो जाएगा. वैसे लिखिए, यमा इज द कंट्रोल ऑफ माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पीच. रिमेंबर, इसके ब्रांचेस रहेंगे. यमा इज द कंट्रोल ऑफ माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पीच. देर आर 5 yamas. देर आर 5 yamas. क्या क्या है भैया, ये लिख लीजिए. सबसे पहला है अहिंसा, सत्य, आस्तेय, ब्रह्मचर्य, अपरिग्रह। तो दिस इज कंट्रोल ऑफ माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पीच। ठीक है, अब पहला शब्द देखे, ये तो दो गांधी जी की फिलॉसफीज भी थी, अहिंसा और सत्याग्रह। अहिंसा का नेचर क्या है? अहिंसा का मतलब होता है नॉन वायलेंस। अब ये नॉन वायलेंस को आप एक रेस्ट्रिक्टेड मोड में इंटरप्रेट नहीं कर सकते हो। नॉन वायलेंस नॉट ओनली इन एक्शंस, नॉन वायलेंस इन थॉट एंड इन स्पीच। आप सड़क पे खड़े हो और किसी को गालियां दे रहे हो पर हाथ नहीं उठा रहे हो, यू आर नॉट नॉन वायलेंट। स्पीच में तो है। हाँ, तो रिमेंबर हमने स्टार्टिंग में लिखा था माइंड, बॉडी एंड एक्शन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पीच। ठीक है, तो आपके एक्शंस भी वायलेंट नहीं होने चाहिए, आपका वाक भी हिंसक नहीं होना चाहिए, और आपकी सोच तो हिंसक होनी ही नहीं चाहिए। तो नॉन वायलेंस सिर्फ किसी को नहीं कूटना, ये नहीं होता है नॉन वायलेंस। तीनों चीज में चाहिए, माइंड, स्पीच एंड एक्शंस। लिखिए, अहिंसा इज to accept the principle of non-violence. Ahimsa is to accept the principle of non-violence, comma, not only in action but in thought and speech also. Not only in action but in thought and speech also. It should extend it should extend to all living beings. It should extend to all living beings and not just humans. वैसे तो आप सोच, वाक और क्रिया इसमें नॉन वायलेंट हो, पर सिर्फ मनुष्यों के प्रति। सड़क पे चल रहे हो, कुत्ता आता है, आपको टक से देते हो एक। दो एस्पेक्ट याद रखिए इसके, तीन चीजों में होनी चाहिए और सबके प्रति होनी चाहिए, सिर्फ मनुष्यों के प्रति नहीं। तब आप अहिंसावादी कहलाओगे। कोई भी नहीं है पूरी दुनिया में। जो लोग जानवरों से बहुत प्यार करते हैं वो मनुष्यों के बारे में बहुत नकारात्मक विचार रखते हैं। मुझे तो लगता है इसमें कॉज इफेक्ट भी रिलेशनशिप है। जो मनुष्यों से उम्मीद छोड़ देते हैं वही जाके जानवरों से प्यार करते हैं। एनीवे, नो ऑफेंस। तो सबके प्रति, सिर्फ मनुष्य, अरे बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत मुश्किल है। सत्य, टू स्पीक द ट्रूथ and to adhere to the truth even in thoughts. Satya, to speak the truth and to adhere to the truth even in your thoughts. Asteya, रिमेंबर नीचे लिखिए नॉट स्टीलिंग। अगेन अब इसको आप माइंड एक्शन माइंड एंड स्पीच के हिसाब से सोचिए किस तरह से चोरी कर सकते हो आप। एक्शन तो बहुत ही क्लियर है, किसी का सामान चुरा लिया, बैंक लूट लिया, जेब काट ली, तो ये तो बड़ा ऑब्वियस सा आस्तेय है, ठीक है। स्पीच में आप चोरी कैसे कर सकते हो? बिल्कुल कर सकते हो, किसी की प्रतिष्ठा की चोरी आप बिल्कुल कर सकते हो। डिफेमेशन क्या है? डिफेमेशन क्या है? किसी की प्रतिष्ठा आप चोरने की कोशिश कर रहे हो या उसको क्षति पहुंचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, तो ये भी तो आस्तेय ही है, ये भी तो आस्तेय ही है, ठीक है। किसी के थॉट्स आपको पता चले, आप खुद के थॉट्स करके पास ऑन कर रहे हो, प्लेजियरिज्म आस्तेय ये भी है। रीमिक्स कल्चर पूरा आस्तेय है। आजकल तो बहुत ही ज्यादा हो गया, हर पिक्चर में लगभग हर ही पिक्चर में कोई पुराने पिक्चर गाना होता है। खैर कॉपीराइट्स वगैरह शायद सेल होते हैं, आई डोंट नो, ओके। तो ये भी आस्तेय है। चोरी नहीं करना, इसका मतलब फिजिकली चोरी नहीं करना यहां तक सीमित नहीं है, इसका मतलब ब्रॉड है। आई होप यू आर गेटिंग द पॉइंट। राइट डाउन। आस्तेय अपहोल्ड्स द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नॉट स्टीलिंग। This includes both not desiring others' wealth and not stealing any goods from others. Again, Asteya has to be reflected in speech, mind and action. In speech, mind and action. Which means stealing somebody's reputation, bracket में लिखिए defamation, which means stealing somebody's reputation, bracket में लिखिए defamation, और stealing somebody else's thoughts, ब्रैकेट में लिखिए plagiarism, is also asteya. ब्रह्मचर्य लिखिए। known as celibacy, one needs to control his or her senses towards attachment of heavenly pleasures. Okay? Controlling oneself towards the attachment of heavenly pleasures. It restrains somebody from having a sexual life. It restrains somebody from having a sexual life. It restrains somebody from having a sexual life. This is the popular conception. But there is one hidden aspect in brahmacharya. What is that aspect? कुछ किताबों में ये भी लिखा है, ब्रह्म का मतलब होता है सेल्फ और चर्य का मतलब होता है moving. तो ब्रह्मचर्य एटिमोलॉजिकली अगर आप देखें तो द मीनिंग वुड बी मूविंग विद इन इटसेल्फ, मूविंग विद इन द ब्रह्म. And what is the Brahma? We'll take a look at that in Vedanta. Brahma is the notion of self. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The concept, the notion of Atman is the notion of Brahma. So, moving within the Brahma, which means absolutely no physical attachment with the external world, including no sexual desires, not indulging in any sexual activity. Remember, according to the concept of brahmacharya, strict brahmacharya, even self-stimulation of sexual organs is violating the brahmacharya. Got the idea? So that is the concept. आगे लिखिए, अपरिग्रह, not to accept and aspire, not to accept and aspire for any unnecessary lavish things, for any unnecessary lavish things. ठीक है, मतलब गिफ्ट्स वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, ये 5 यम इंडिस्पेंसिबल फॉर द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ योगा. देन राइट डाउन, नियमा स्पीक्स, सेकंड यम हो गया, नियम लिखिए. नियमा स्पीक्स अबाउट द रूल्स दैट हैव टू बी फॉलोड, the rules that have to be followed for possessing good conduct, for possessing good conduct. The 5 niyamas are, लिखिए, शौच, संतोष, तप, स्वाध्याय, ईश्वर प्रणिधन, ईश्वर प्रणिधन. इसके छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स लिख दीजिए. शौच, क्लीनलीनेस, विच इंक्लूड्स एक्सटर्नल क्लीनिंग, मतलब बाथ एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा, एंड इंटरनल क्लीनिंग, हैप्पीनेस. महाभारत में फिर से ये सब चीजें ना, महाभारत इसलिए सच अ ब्यूटीफुल टेल, ये सब चीजों की समरी कहीं ना कहीं उसमें आती है. जैसा महाभारत में एक वृत्तांत है, जब पांडव वनवास पे रहते हैं और बहुत प्यास लगी होती है, तो एक नदी के पास आते हैं. सबसे पहले नकुल जाता है, फिर वो यक्ष नकुल को बोलता है कि भैया मेरे सवालों का जवाब दिए बिना अगर तूने पानी पिया तो तू मर जाएगा. तो नकुल अपने टिपिकल एरोगेंस में इग्नोर करता है, पीता है, मर जाता है, सब मर जाते हैं. फिर युधिष्ठिर आता है. तो युधिष्ठिर को भी वो वाणी आती है, तो युधिष्ठिर बोलता है ठीक है। उसमें एक सवाल है, सच्चा स्नान कौन सा है? यक्ष युधिष्ठिर से सवाल पूछता है, सच्चा स्नान कौन सा है? और युधिष्ठिर कहता है, जो मन का मैल दूर करे। तो जब मैं कॉलेज में था, मैं विंटर्स में जुम्मे के जुम्मे नहाता था। तो एक दिन मेरे पिताजी ने पूछा, नहाता क्यों नहीं है बे? तो मैंने बोला, सच्चा स्नान। तो बोला, क्या है सच्चा स्नान? मैंने बोला, सच्चा स्नान वो है जो मन का मैल दूर करे। मेरे मन में मैल है ही नहीं, ये क्या एक्सटर्नल पढ़ी थी उस दिन, दूसरी बात है, बट दैट्स द पॉइंट। तो महाभारत में ये सारी चीजें बहुत अच्छी तरीके से कोलेट होती हैं। तो दैट इज शौच। देखिए, संतोष, कंटेंटमेंट, इट इज अंडरस्टूड एज कंटेंटमेंट, टू बी satisfied, to be satisfied with whatever we attain or possess. हमारे पास जो भी है उससे हमें संतुष्ट रहना चाहिए, ठीक है। अब अगर आप मटेरियलिज्म के एस्पेक्ट से देखेंगे तो वो बोलेंगे कि अगर ये सोचे तो कोई प्रोग्रेस ही नहीं होती, न विमान बनते, न हेलीकॉप्टर बनते, न मोबाइल बनते, न ये बनते, न एसी बनते, न और कुछ बनते, ठीक है। अब उसको प्रोग्रेस है कि नहीं, वो इसको डिफाइन करना जितना समय नहीं हुआ है ना, अल्टीमेटली उससे हो क्या रहा है वो भी तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा। तो सब ये कम्युनिज्म यही बोलता है कि अल्प जरूरत कम से कम, और कम से कम जरूरतों में आपकी अगर पूरी हुई तो संतुष्टि रहनी चाहिए, दैट इज संतोष। तप और पेनेंस, तप और पेनेंस includes the power of tolerance. To tolerate extreme and maximum cold and heat, to tolerate extreme and maximum of cold and heat, one needs to practice, and this is possible through तप। स्वाध्याय, सेल्फ स्टडी ऑफ रिलीजियस स्क्रिप्चर्स, सेल्फ स्टडी ऑफ रिलीजियस स्क्रिप्चर्स। देन ईश्वर प्राणिधम, to remember that God is the supreme authority and almighty. To remember that God is the supreme authority and the almighty. One should completely surrender himself or herself. One should completely surrender himself or herself to him. This practice helps in development of good conduct. This practice helps in development of good conduct. So after the yamas and the niyamas, you have asana. Write down. Advanced stage of yoga. पहला पॉइंट लिखिए, एडवांस्ड स्टेज ऑफ योगा। Describes various bodily postures. Describes various bodily postures which help to retain the concentration of the chitta, which help to retain the concentration of the chitta and helps to control the body as well as the mind, and helps to control the body as well as the mind. Then write down pranayama. Remaining are simple. Pranayama, control of breath. This is Puraka, then Kumbhak, and then Rechaka. Pranayama is control of breath. Practicing pranayama helps to control inhaling and exhaling of breath. Inhaling and exhaling of breath. This is very important. This is very important to help the chitta remain focused. The 3 steps are A, Puraka. The 3 steps are A, Puraka. Bracket में लिखिए, to take in as much air as possible, inhaling. To take in as much air as possible, inhaling. Kumbhak, to retain the air for half the time taken to inhale it. Exactly. To retain air for half the time taken to inhale it. मतलब जो आपने श्वास लिया है और जो हवा भीतर आई है, सपोज आपने 2 सेकंड तक हवा खींची, तो 1 सेकंड तक उसको स्टेडी, उसके बाद 3rd स्टेज रेचका. ग्रेजुअली एक्सेल द एयर by taking the same time as inhalation. Regular practice ensures breath control. Regular practice ensures breath control, which enables the chitta to remain concentrated, which enables the chitta to remain concentrated or to retain its concentration. Then you have pratyahara, controlling the sense organs, for not being attracted to worldly objects. Controlling the sense organs for not being attracted to worldly objects. This requires strong determination and subduing the senses. Strong determination and subduing the senses. अब इसको लेके थोड़ा सा कन्फ्लिक्ट है। The Bhagavad Gita talks about renunciation. तो युद्ध हुआ ही क्यों? Because Bhagavad Gita talks about renunciation in action. It does not talk about renunciation of action. This is the difference. So just because you do not desire worldly objects, that does not mean you don't act. No. You still act. You still act. But you act because you have to act in a particular manner, not because you desire the fruits of your action. Acting because it is acting in a particular way, because it's the right thing to do, is a different thing. Acting in a particular way because you have a desire for some consequence, that's a different thing. The second part is not renunciation in action. The first thing I explained is renunciation in action. Not acting at all is renunciation of action. So just because you are saying you are subduing your senses, that does not mean you are not acting. Of course you are acting, but you are not being guided by your senses while you are acting. That is what it means. Then write down dharana. The mind, धारणा का explanation लिखिए. The mind continuously shifts from one object to the other. The mind continuously shifts from one object to the other. To keep our mind focused on a particular point, is called as dharana. We concentrate on one particular object. We concentrate on one particular object, and if the mind wanders, we focus our attention back onto the object. And if the mind wanders, we focus our attention back onto the object. For example, concentrating on the flame of a candle. That is dharana. फिर देखिए ध्यान, इसका नेक्स्ट स्टेप है ध्यान. In this state, the agent becomes successful. In this state, the agent becomes successful in holding his attention, in focusing his attention on one particular object. This helps him realize the true nature of chitta. So basically in dharana, he is trying to focus on one, and if the focus moves, he brings it back. In dhyana, he has achieved that state where he is able to focus on only one particular object, whatever it may be. That is dhyana. And then samadhi. The last step of yoga, write down. The last step of yoga is known as samadhi. The last stage of yoga is known as samadhi. A person is able to dissolve, a person is able to dissolve, a person is able to dissolve the difference between the subject and the object. This is cessation of modification of chitta. This is cessation of modification of chitta. The two types of samadhi are samprajnat and asamprajnat. This is also known as nirbija. So these are the two types of samadhi. This is also called as conscious, and the other is called as unconscious, basically supraconscious. संप्रज्ञत समाधि के बारे में एक छोटा सा नोट लिख लीजिए. The aspirant becomes aware of his concentration. The aspirant or the person becomes aware of his concentration. Concentrating on one object leads to control of the distracted mind. Therefore, concentration on one object implies dissociating from other objects. Therefore, concentrating on one object implies dissociating from other objects. Attachment for worldly pleasures causes suffering. Attachment towards worldly objects causes suffering, and eliminating this attachment removes klesha. The four types of conscious samadhi are, इसके और चार टाइप्स हैं. The four types of conscious samadhi are savitarka, savichar, sanand, and सास्मित. सवितर्क, सविचार, सानंद एंड सास्मित. अब ये क्या है, ये आप लिख लीजिए. सवितर्क में लिखिए, चित्ता concentrates on a gross object. The chitta concentrates on a gross object and clearly identifies it through meditation. And clearly identifies it through meditation. For example, apple on a tree, top of your nose, flame of a candle, and so on. सविचार समाधि, तो ये ग्रॉस ऑब्जेक्ट हो गया. अब धीरे धीरे देखिए आपकी समाधि कैसे डीप होते जा रही है. चित्ता कॉन्सेंट्रेट्स ऑन अ सटल ऑब्जेक्ट एंड अज्यूम्स इट्स फॉर्म. What can be a subtle object? Tanmantra, rasa, rupa, gandha, sabda, sparsha, anything. So you are not concentrating now on a tangible object. You are concentrating on a subtle object. You are not concentrating on the apple. You are not concentrating on the flower. You are concentrating on the aroma of the flower, which is subtle. इसके लिए हायर लेवल ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रेशन आपको लगेगी. ठीक है, दैट इज सविचार. देन सानंद, चित्ता concentrates on a satvika object more subtle than the tanmatras. On a satvika object more subtle than tanmatras. Purity. ठीक है, तो इसमें लेवल ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रेशन और डीप लगेगा. एंड देन द नेक्स्ट इज सास्मित. द चित्ता फोकसेस ऑन the ego or the ahamkara and the manas. Individual consciousness is the point of concentration. Individual consciousness is the point of concentration. तो याद रखिए, आपका कंसंट्रेशन, ये लेयर्स क्यों बोला जाता है इसको, आपका जो कंसंट्रेशन है वो एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड से शुरू होके अंदर 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 की तरफ जा रहा है. सो दीज आर द वेरियस लेवल्स ऑफ संप्रज्ञत समाधि. देन राइट डाउन, असंप्रज्ञत इज सुप्रा कॉन्शियसनेस, अबव कॉन्शियसनेस. लिखिए, this is the highest form of samadhi. This is the highest form of samadhi. In this stage, there is no distinction between the subject and the object. In this stage, there is no distinction between the subject and the object. All the worldly attachments and sufferings dissolve. All the worldly attachments and sufferings dissolve, and the state of kaivalya is reached. And the state of kaivalya is reached. The first five are preparation for the remaining 3. The first 5 are preparation for the remaining 3. Ultimate objective is asamprajnat samadhi, and that is what will lead to kaivalya. और ये पूरा प्रोसेस है. अब एक लास्ट हेडिंग लिख लीजिए, गॉड एंड द योगा फिलॉसफी. The yoga school accepts the existence of God. The yoga philosophy accepts the existence of God. God is free from the laws of karma and worldly attachments. ये योगा फिलॉसफी का बिलीफ है, याद रखिए. God is free from law of karma and worldly attachments. He is omniscient, knows everything, omnipresent, present everywhere, and omnipotent, all powerful. God's actions are guided only by the well-being of the universe. God does not need any liberation. Obviously, bondage अगर नहीं है तो liberation कहाँ से आएगा? Law of karma applicable नहीं है तो liberation का concept ही नहीं आएगा. That is Paramatma. A Jivatma seeks liberation because he or she has to bear the fruits of karma. अब आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, 3 आर्ग्यूमेंट्स योगा स्कूल ऑफर करता है. ये आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हम पहले भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, आप नाम लिख लीजिए. 3 arguments offered by the yoga school for existence of God are 3 arguments offered by the yoga school for existence of God are: A, scriptures, B, efficient cause, पुरुषा प्रकृति इंटरैक्ट. ये इंटरैक्शन कौन कराता है? गॉड. क्योंकि बिना कोई इंटरवेंशन के ये दोनों इंटरैक्ट नहीं कर सकते ना. सांख्य डिनाइड दैट. सांख्य सेड इट्स इन देयर नेचर टू इंटरैक्ट. योगा सेज these two won't interact automatically. Even if Purusha and Prakriti have to interact, an external intervention is needed. That external intervention is God, the efficient cause. And the third, ultimate in hierarchy, omnipresent. Humans का सब limited होता है, तो unlimited का concept कहाँ होगा? God में होगा. These are arguments given by Sankhya philosophy for existence of God. Yoga philosophy. So this is yoga philosophy. अब इसके questions लिख लीजिए. Question number 1. Explain the possibility of Jivan Mukti. Explain the possibility of Jivan Mukti. Critically compare it with the yoga account of Kaivalya. Critically compare it with the yoga account of Kaivalya. 150 words, 10 marks. 150 words, 10 marks. Question number 2. Give a critical account of Chitta Vritti in yoga philosophy. Give a critical account of Chitta Vritti in yoga philosophy. 200 words, 12.5 marks. Third question. Explain the nature and levels of Samprajnata Samadhi. Explain the nature and levels of Samprajnata Samadhi. How does each level lead more? How does each level lead more towards a Samprajnata Samadhi? Towards a Samprajnata Samadhi. 150 words, 15 marks. 150 words, 15 marks. Fourth question. What is bondage according to yoga philosophy? Easy questions है सारे. What is bondage according to yoga philosophy? Explain the method of obtaining kaivalya. Explain the method of obtaining kaivalya in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. 150 words, 20 marks. 150 words, 20 marks. Question 5. What are kleshas? What are kleshas? How can these be eliminated? Question mark. What are kleshas? Question mark. How can these be eliminated? Question mark. Explain. Explain. 150 words, 15 marks. Question 6. Starting जो word से किया था हमने. What is meant by yoga chitta vritti nirodha? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Question mark. Explain chitta vritti and its effects. Explain chitta vritti and its effects according to yoga philosophy. Explain chitta vritti and its effects according to yoga philosophy. That is 150 words and 10 marks. Okay? So this is yoga philosophy. The next lecture we will be focusing on Mimamsa. I think you have only 3 to 4 lectures now to go for paper 1 to end. Okay? Keep revising your notes. In case of any doubts, please mail us. Thank you very much.